What comes next in Venezuela after Maduro's removal? A turbulent transition. Caracas, Lima, New York. Venezuela faces a historic and uncertain crossroads after the dramatic removal of President Nicolas Maduro in early January 2026. A U.S.-led military operation resulted in Maduro's capture and transfer to the United States, where he now faces federal narcotics terrorism charges, a move that has sent shockwaves through Caracas and across the Americas. A nation in flux after Maduro's fall. On January 3, 2026, United States forces conducted Operation Absolute Resolve, striking targets in Caracas and seizing Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores. The U.S. government justified the mission on counter-narcotics and national security grounds, saying Maduro's regime was tied to organized crime and corruption. The legality of the operation has been widely questioned by international lawyers and governments, including at the United Nations. Following Maduro's removal, Venezuela's Supreme Tribunal of Justice ordered Vice President Delcy Rodriguez to assume the presidency in an interim capacity to maintain administrative continuity. However, her legitimacy is not widely recognized outside Caracas, and the European Union and other international actors have publicly questioned her authority. Domestic uncertainty, fear and faint hope. Life inside Venezuela remains tense and unpredictable. Residents in Caracas and other cities report empty streets, long lines for supplies, and a pervasive sense of fear mixed with cautious optimism. Many Venezuelans say they are unsure what governance will look like after years of hardship. Security forces and government-aligned groups, known as colectivos, are still active, raising concerns about potential unrest and retribution. The economy continues to struggle under its long structural crisis, and public services remain unreliable, all reminding citizens that political change alone won't instantly restore stability. Prisoner releases and human rights questions. In the days following the regime change, Venezuelan authorities began releasing political prisoners, including high-profile activists and opposition figures. While these releases have been welcomed by human rights organizations, critics argue they are selective and limited compared with the hundreds still detained. Pressure for broader, more transparent releases persists, with families and advocates calling for accountability and genuine reform rather than symbolic gestures. Venezuelan diaspora watches from afar. Nearly 8 million Venezuelans living across Latin America and beyond are following events with mixed emotions. Many celebrated Maduro's removal abroad but remain skeptical about returning home due to ongoing insecurity and economic hardship. Host countries like Peru and Chile are encouraging repatriation, but mass return is unlikely without meaningful improvements in safety, jobs, and institutions. U.S. policy, oil, sanctions, and influence. The United States under President Donald Trump has played a central role in shaping the post-Maduro landscape. Washington signaled that it may lift some sanctions and release frozen Venezuelan assets to facilitate economic recovery and support oil sales. Trump's administration has also taken steps to protect Venezuelan oil revenues and explore ways for American firms to re-enter the country's energy sector, a strategic pivot with major implications for global energy markets. But even within the U.S., critics argue that this approach lacks a clear post-conflict strategy, with some lawmakers raising alarms about ambiguous governance plans and the risks of deeper entanglement. Regional and global reactions. The response across Latin America and the world has been sharply divided. Some governments applauded the end of Maduro's grip on power. Others, including Spain, Mexico, and the United Nations, condemned the U.S. operation as a violation of sovereignty. Meanwhile, leaders in neighboring countries weigh the risks of instability spilling across borders, particularly concerns about migration flows and armed groups exploiting the power vacuum. What happens next? The road ahead. Political transition. Under Venezuelan law, fresh elections should be called within a defined timeframe, potentially setting the stage for a new political order. But the path remains uncertain. Who will lead Venezuela's transition? Can elections be free and fair? Will institutions be rebuilt after years of erosion? Political analysts emphasize that the answer depends on internal reconciliation, military alignment, and international support or pressure. Economic reconstruction. Return of oil production. Long the backbone of Venezuela's economy, could provide revenue for reconstruction, but massive investment and legal reforms are needed to make the sector attractive to global firms. Venezuela stands at an unprecedented moment, freed from one authoritarian chapter, but facing deep questions about sovereignty, justice, and self-determination. Whether the coming months usher in genuine democratic renewal or prolong instability will be watched not only in Caracas, but across the hemisphere.